Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is the power of choice. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. I wrote these posts a while back, and the world has completely changed since then. So if I encounter anything as I am reading that seems out of date, I will interrupt myself and give you the most recent information. At the end, if necessary, I will give a summation of the topic based on what's going on in the world today. And also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. The power of choice. I'm wanting to clear up some misperceptions around powerless and also around choice. Anyone familiar with the 12 steps will know that the first thing to admit is that you are powerless, usually over a behavior or a substance you're addicted to. But for some, it's people, places, and things. It's a very helpful step, although tough for many when they first encounter it. What admitting that you're powerless does is withdraw the focus from whatever you're trying to control. For instance, in AA, you're not admitting powerless over your compulsion to drink, but over alcohol itself. For others, it's helpful to admit powerless over the gambler, the alcoholic, the food, or credit card. Ideally, you're bringing the focus back to yourself. As I went through my own consciousness shift, I went through a period of confusion because viewing this world as a hologram and as consciousness creating everything down to the smallest detail, how would you be powerless to change or fix or control anything? Because you're the one who created it all. So when I shift my awareness to view things as consciousness rather than my body personality, that's when everything changes. It's not a matter of trying to manipulate the storyline or the hologram. It's using my skills and my tools in my spiritual toolkit to really enjoy the ride. I'm going to interrupt myself there. There was a lot of different things there that I was struggling with when I wrote this. And so, yeah, you can look at this as a hologram, and each of us are infinite beings creating this reality down to the smallest details. So then we are also writing into our storyline, the person who's alcoholic, or the delicious pound cakes that are calling my name, or any of the other things that we struggle with. The point is that as consciousness, we're not powerless, but our body personalities are powerless over trying to change, fix, manipulate, or control anything. That's what we're working on, is withdrawing the power back to ourselves as consciousness, as opposed to running around trying to create more distortions in the illusion. When we realize, I created all of this down to the smallest detail, or myself as consciousness created all of this down to the smallest detail, what an amazing ride it is. It's easier to sit back and enjoy things. And when you let go of the effort about it, then that's when things transform. So this is where a choice comes in. From the 12-step point of view, you're powerless over others, but you're not powerless over your thoughts and actions. You make choices every minute not to pick up that drink or not to enable others. You can also make choices to redirect your thinking so you're not obsessing. It's hard to do at first, but gradually it gets easier. At this new level of consciousness, this consciousness shift, you're at choice as well. You can do what you feel motivated to do, and you're exercising that choice. So the thing to notice is what your motivation is. If you're making choices that are designed to manipulate the hologram, then you're operating as your small self, your body personality, character in the story, and ultimately it won't work, it'll backfire. You might find the same situation will reoccur with different characters and scenery. If you make choices because it would be fun to go in that direction or do that thing, then you're more likely operating as consciousness when you're operating from a sense of wonder and curiosity. It's also helpful to notice if you're not making choices, which is operating from resistance and would still be considered operating from the body personality perspective. In a similar way, in 12 steps, they have you turn your will and your life over to your higher power, and it's letting go and letting your higher power direct things. It's helpful for folks who've been trying to control their addictions or trying to control their addicts. At the bottoming out point, admitting powerlessness and letting go and letting higher power, expanded self take charge is the only way to go. But then it's very helpful to know that you are at choice with your life and that there are no mistakes. The way I see it, there's an energy flow called life. So I'll interrupt there again. So there are no mistakes. The way I see it is you're creating this hologram and everything in it, including the storyline. You jump into this reality as a very capable, infinite being, and all of this is about having the experience. Here's the other thing that I didn't quite grasp at the time that I wrote this, but there are no mistakes because all possibilities are happening at once. It's not just a video game where you turn to go left and you're setting off a trajectory of reactions and actions from going left. Or if you go right, you're doing a whole different set of actions. But all the games are happening simultaneously. And as consciousness, you're perceiving all of this. Just when you're in a physical form, one thing at a time is what you can perceive. So there are no mistakes because you've done all of them and had all of the outcomes, and it's all just a fun game anyway. Back to the blog. So the way I see it, there's an energy flow called life, and your individual body is your kayak. You can sit back and go with the flow, and you can use your paddle and your kayaking skills to enjoy the ride more. You learn when you're trying to control the river because it doesn't work trying to paddle upstream, but you also don't have to avoid the white water rapids either. It can be exhilarating to use the power of choice to navigate them. When you're new to the journey, your setting intentions is a way of communicating to you as consciousness what direction you'd like to go in. When you know that you are consciousness, then it's simply a choice to go in a particular direction for the fun of it. So notice if there's anything in your life that you're feeling stuck about or powerless over. Notice if it's within your personal sphere or outside of it. Yes, you created the entire hologram, but repainting the scenery doesn't change your internal storyline. If it's outside of your space, drop it, focus inside. It doesn't matter if those people's actions are making you crazy. Make choices from inside you, from your inner wisdom. Point your kayak in the direction that feels better or feels fun. For the next week, do whatever you feel motivated to do and notice how your life changes. And leave a comment below because I love reading your comments. And I don't really have anything to add to this other than what I've already mentioned because this is exactly what's going on. I will have to say we're more capable than we were when I first wrote this. Some of you are intuitively doing this anyway. So if you like these videos, please like them and subscribe. And that way you're telling YouTube to share this wider and will reach more people, especially those folks that really need this information. And if you'd like one of my free samples of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique, and it'll give you a bigger perspective of what's going on in your life, give you some insights on how to make some different choices. And if you want to know how to do this for yourself, I have a self-study course called Manifesting Money and Miracles, and it teaches you how to change your internal vibration to create a complete transformation of your external reality. So click on the link below to learn more about it. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I do individual sessions where I take a look at you as consciousness and what's going on in your life today. I can answer any questions that you might have, and it's all recorded just for you. So if you want to know more about how to do this for yourself, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special where I work with you one-on-one and I give you specially selected consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.